Legendary Bernard Hopkins and Tone Trump Bungee sneaker release. This is video behind the scenes from 2017 on South Street, Philadelphia. I had the pleasure, I was working with Tone Trump at the time, and we were releasing his first sneaker. That's the red sneaker right there. And I was able to get a lot of footage of Bernard Hopkins talk to B-Hop, legendary B-Hop. And I wanted to just upload all that footage, the raw footage. I'll definitely come back and do some more talking about the time with Tone Trump and the Tone Trump series. But here is the raw footage for that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Hopefully you guys like this video.
I'm at Roadblocks up there, make sure to check them out. No, these nice. You got us? You good? Yep. Hey, yo, you know I got that picture of you when you was holding that trophy up, you know what I mean? I was about to say, you look like you couldn't even lift your leg up on the roof.
They like success stories, or do you think it's more because if you make a wrong decision or make a mistake, they can throw it back in your face?
They're always trying to set you up to fail.
Right.
But you got to be that strong, unique individual, man. See, to me, I looked at it as being the things, and everybody don't have that mindset. See, my whole thing is that being locked up is being locked up. But how many people are locked up in this store right now that's mentally incarcerated and don't want parole? Mm-hmm. I'll leave you with that one.
Just because of the shoes that you have. So I make them for celebrities, I make them for entertainers, I make them for musicians, every type of music. So, you know, that's pretty much what I'm doing. It's the opposite of sports. It's the opposite end of that. So what would you say to, you know, somebody in your position, or just be walking in at one of the artists? The only thing that I can say is don't give up. Let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because I had a million people telling me that I would never design a shoe. I had a million people telling me that don't waste my time, it's impossible, it's not going to happen. And here I am today with Bungee clothing, Bungee sneakers, hanging out with B-Hop. You know what I mean?
Less than 3 years away.
That's the
years ago you were How'd you meet Daryl?
Well, Daryl met me first, but it wasn't about voice, you know, to each other. It was at a place he was not visiting, but he was there for a few years, and he happened to see a mural of myself, and he got inspired as we talked about his past along with mine, and we had a connection. But we ran into each other personally in the gym, at Johan's gym. And it was through another associate of mine that really introduced us. And he let me know his history, and we started dialoguing back and forth. And here we are, you know what I mean? But there's some little stuff that happened between then and now. And I embraced his concept and how he thinks and his motivation to be different, and also be different in a lot of ways. Not only in life, but in fashion and ideas that it's going to be very talented when people see it really blossom to where I believe it will in the future.
Talk about, you know, his work ethic, because, you know, coming from where he came from and just, you know, pushing through and now having his line.
Well, his work ethics is undisputed. And to keep that mindset and that type of title and word is a thing where you always got to be on top of your game, because there won't be any dispute amongst what you do and what you put out there. You know, everything has to do with, you know, always outdoing yourself. You think you put out the best hit song or whatever the case may be, or even fight in the ring, at the end of the day, whatever you feed people, whether it's fashion, whether it's knowledge, whether it's good music, whatever it is, you got to continue to be in competition with yourself. And so when I see this sort of like coming to play in fruition so everybody can see it, You know, from the shoes, from the fashion shoes, the boxing shoes, from the sneaks, from the bungee this, the bungee that, the bungee shirts, the bungee this. When you start pinning your pulse on everything to see if that beat continue to be stronger, then people will start feeding it from there. So I see a lot coming out of the foundation of what you come up with, and that is the shoes and the fashion.
Yeah, what do you think about the shoes? You know?
Well, I train in bungees, and when I say I train in them, the shoes, the boxing shoes, and I'm comfortable with them. I got 28 years, almost 3 decades in boxing, professional. And so I'm not going to wear anything. I'm not going to promote anything. I have a really strong reputation of being involved with things that I really believe in, right? Not for check, not that I'm allergic to money, but I don't just attach myself to something just because. And so when I tried the shoes on, and I, looked at them and, sort of analyze, how comfortable, if I move or turn, because I'm not a runner, but I'm a guy that do a lot of twists and turns suddenly. And if they don't fit that movement, if they don't have that comfortability in it, then it's going to sort of like restrict me. And I never want to be restricted trying to make a move or trying to do something that that will cause some type of negative to my movement or even my punch. So first, I love the shoes. I train in the shoes even to the day. I've got some more in order. Just bought a pair for a young amateur / trying to pro soon at Johan's gym before we came here. So I'm more comfortable with the shoe now than I first started the week. I started wearing them because now I got a chance to break them in. And I got a chance not only to work in the gym as far as the bag or the sparring, walking around feeling comfortable, and as they got a little wear and tear on them from movement and sort of, as they say, broken in, they haven't lost their shape. They haven't became we're at the point where I got to tighten them up real tight because I don't have the grip or the movement. So I know all these things when it comes to boxing shoes, right? They're not comfortable, right? You're going to see that, or you're going to feel that somewhere down the line in your performance.
Absolutely. Just talk about just Daryl's story and what that can mean for for other people, even if they're not incarcerated.
Well, the hustle. First of all, the hustle. The word "the hustle" is not a word that people frown on today. They don't frown on like hustle, like it's a slang, it's this, is that. That's past. Corporate people use the word hustle because that's what they're doing. They know they hustling when they're doing 2 or 3 things at one time. Like, to me, hustling ain't just focus on I'm gonna be good at just one thing. Hustle to me and hustling to me is definitely more than one thing. You hustling every day, doing the things that you're passionate about. If it's that 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're doing, you both of those or 3 of those things or 2 of those things or 1 of those things are on the same level of being anything that you can attach to it. So that's the hustle. To me, that's the hustle. Even if you don't have an actual 9 to 5 job and you're home and you home down 2 or 3 or kid or the household and you're making sure the bills are paid and you're making sure that things is in order, you know what I mean? So whoever come home, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man that come home, things are set, that's the job itself. That's hustling. So hustling to me is not a 9 to 5 just about. Is doing things productive to make yourself be in a better situation later. So when I see a young man and a young woman or an old man or an old woman of age doing something that is not done all the time or is not done in a big volume of numbers, to me that's hustling. I respect that, I salute that, because at the end of the day, like, there's so many people that need to be motivated by hustlers, and so many people need to be motivated by go-getters. And when you see Bungee, the brand, and you see Instagram and over here using social media to this maximum as you can, and then you always still trying to let people understand from where you started from, no matter where you go, that hustle should never stop. It should always be that way, because that's when, to me, you in competition with yourself, not necessarily with all the other thousands of markets out there that's saying the same thing that you're saying, and maybe got the bigger money to back it up, but now have the really authentic product, right? But they got the resources. So you I think Bungee could be, he's got to write his own destiny, and sky's the limit. Because you got to understand too that you ain't got the only concept or you ain't got the only dream, but you got to use that as sort of like your opponent. So how big Bungee can be, sky's the limit to Bungee. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be watching, and I'm going to make sure that I give my support to the maximum. But I also going to give my support not only in wearing it or exploiting it to a point where people can say, you know, well, Bernard likes this stuff, it's good, he runs in it, he got credibility. At the end, Bungee still is going to have to go ahead and continue to, every time he puts something out, it has to be on that note, high end. It has to be not only performance quality, but it has to have that look. See, the looks draw your attention, right? The personality make you either drop or keep it. It's the same thing in clothes, man. It's a hustle. You know what I mean? So at the end, you look at the clothes, you look at it, the first thing going to grab your eye is how it look. Man, then when you try them on, it's not comfortable. Some would say, well, I settle, right? Then you got some that won't settle for things that they not accustomed or ain't comfortable with. So it's the same thing with clothes. Same thing in, I'm not a relationship doctor, but I know that to me, that seems to be hand in hand. So at the end of the day, you know, he has to be on at all times. At all times. Like they say in the ring, protect yourself at all times. When the referee says, okay, go to your corner and then come out fighting, he has to understand that mentality all the time. Even in success where it's really tested. When you really opinion, when you really like, man, I made it, man, I'm cool. Bask in the glory for a second. Not a minute, not an hour, not weeks or days and weeks and months. You gotta go ahead and stay on the grind. Again, that's that hustle. How do you hustle when your refrigerator is full? When you used to grind like crazy when it was empty. That's a mindset, man.
Like a pastor, man.
It's private companies that kind of deal with the institution, right? To sell you that poison, that tang, all that stuff, man. Like them boys carrying cancer, man. They didn't make their make their own juice. They didn't make their own juice.
And that was my selling right there. That was my selling
Check
right
the
there.
move out. Check the move out. When I was kind of graded for 2 years when I first started my pro career, 0-1, I lost my first fight by decision. Then I went back. You gotta remember, it's 88, but then it's 89, it's 90. There were some crucial moments in Black America in the city. So I'm making a choice in my head, like, wait a minute. Am I going to continue to go for this dream that I see, right, on Broad Street in little club fights, getting $100 a round? I said to myself, I gotta go get some good lunch. We was going to grade for it. We was training. They was pitting on the news. You know, this guy done 5-1, 6-1, 10-1.
Yeah.
They start saying, hold up, where did he come from?
Yeah.
And they always attach my background from what I came from to who I am now. Like for instance, not now they don't say it because it became old. But when I got 10-1, you know, 10 wins and 1 loss, they said, where did this guy come from? Because now I took that loss as I'm on parole, that I can't go back, that I can't lose no more. So I got more determined. I started watching what I eat even more. I started being really like obsessed with making sure my body right, everything right to the day, last 28 years. And so this what happened. When they realized that this is something that's going to be a problem to them, who want to not give motivation to anybody, like anybody else says, read my story, Bungee, who's up there and seen that mural of me.
Keep talking. We're gonna walk around.
Hold up, 1 second, because I can't lose my
I want to ask you a question.
So at the end of the day, this is really important. When I was coming back and forth in them joints, they said, yo, Bernard cannot longer come back here because, I mean, it was myself, my trainer, everybody, it was a big thing. For almost 6 months. They seen the motivation. You know what they said? We got a security risk, inmates getting high, you know, they get excited, you can't control stuff. So what they wanted to do is they cut me from coming out of there and said, look, you ain't coming up there anymore. You know, we don't, they came up with a story. Then they took all the boxing programs from all the prisons. It's been over 50 weights and everything. They're like, hold up, we're not promoting this dude coming home, he paying the government $10 million a year. So if I'm paying the government $10 million a year and I'm paying my taxes, that means I gotta be making $100 a year.
Right.
So they start doing the math, like, hold up, dude ain't go to school, dude ain't do this, dude ain't do that. And the guy down Wall Street, you know, with no money, with, you know, all the hair off his face, he's sitting there, I ain't from Harvard, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna beat you in the degree up with this, and I'm gonna beat you up with my credibility. So now they can't compete with that. So why do you think they are feared by guys like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, other guys that come out in the industry of music or whatever, and they looking at how this dude take a shortcut, they think. You take a shortcut, and I got a Harvard degree, I'm from Yale, Cornell. They try to intimidate you with their education, right? You know, the clean face dudes, you know what I mean? So now at the end of the day, they looking at me, I learned how to take a page out of their book, which is corporate America, and they'll never get a page out of my book because they'll never see the streets, they never know the hustle, and they never know game, recognized game.
Right. Right. Let's go. Right. Let me ask you.
Further north, you got Binghamton, New York. You can get the radio station up there, Binghamton, New York.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, depending on where the antenna is.
Yeah.
You know, the antenna. Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Dallas cool. I finished up there. I did 3 graded for it. Then they realized I had that much time, so they shipped me out. They shipped me down. So I get them down. So I'm like, oh, they must think I'm gonna throw it off. I see this joint is knocked off up here.
Yeah.
Boy, and also DC, Maryland. So we got a lot of guys signed for the transit areas. So we're gonna wrap it up in September. We're gonna wrap it up in September and it's a wrap. Because then I'm just going full time with HBO, doing a color commentating and also promoting with Oscar. You know, doing a couple. Because I'm part of the company. Yeah, I'm in to give me a big percentage out of that company. So we sell that shit in 10 years. We sell that shit in 10 years, man.
You cashing out?
Yeah.
Cashing out.
You build it up and you sell it.
Mm-hmm.